Okay, let's unpack this. It's kind of wild how fast software development moves these days.
It really is, especially when you think about how apps are built now.
Right, like breaking them down into these tiny independent pieces, microservices they call them.
Exactly.
It's like building with Legos, but I don't know, imagine every single Lego brick needs its own little instruction sheet and its own delivery truck.
That's a pretty good analogy, actually.
And you need to swap any brick out, like instantly, without the whole thing falling over.
Yeah.
So how do teams even manage that? All those pieces, moving, updating. It sounds like potential chaos.
Well, that's the thing. The speed, the independence, it would be basically impossible without a ton of automation.
Automation for everything.
Pretty much. Every little change, every new feature, bug fixes. It all needs building, testing, deploying, and reliably, frequently.
So it's not just about going faster.
No, not at all. It's also about stability, keeping things agile, when your system is spread out all over the place.
And that right there is where these CI/CD tools come in. Continuous integration, continuous deployment. That's what this deep dive is all about. We're going to kind of pull back the curtain on these systems, the ones that automate the whole workflow.
Yeah, the engines that let teams build, test, deploy stuff at like lightning speed.
So our mission today really is to look at 3 of the big players here. We've got Jenkins, GitHub Actions, and GitLab CI.
Right. We'll dig into what makes each one tick, who they're maybe best suited for.
And why they're just so critical if you're doing anything with microservices.
Absolutely essential. And we also need to touch on this this mystery tool our sources mentioned, Jules.
Oh yeah, Jules. We'll definitely get to that.
Yeah.
But the main goal is to give you a really clear picture of these platforms and why they matter so much right now.
Sounds good. Where should we start?
Okay, let's start with the OG Jenkins. It's open source, Java-based.
Yeah.
Been around since what, 2011?
Yeah, a long time in tech years.
Our sources kept calling it highly customizable. What does that actually mean? Like, how customizable are we talking? Can it really do almost anything?
It pretty much can, yeah. Jenkins is famous for its plugin ecosystem. There are thousands of plugins.
Thousands. Wow.
Seriously. And that gives it incredible flexibility for building out your CI/CD pipelines. It also supports pipeline as code.
Okay, what's that?
It uses something called a Jenkins file. Basically, you define your whole build and deployment process in code, like a script, and check it into your version control system.
So the pipeline itself is versioned, just like your app code.
Exactly. Makes it reproducible, trackable, super important. So Jenkins is really ideal for organizations that need that deep customization. Maybe they host it themselves.
Self-hosted, right?
Yeah. Especially if you've got complex projects, maybe across different platforms, lots of diverse needs. It's the ultimate make-it-fit-anything tool.
That sounds incredibly powerful. Like you can really bend it to fit whatever setup you already have. But does that flexibility, does it also mean it's harder to get started with? More setup, maybe?
And yeah,
Compared to others?
that's a totally fair point. That flexibility is its strength, but yeah, it definitely means more upfront configuration and more ongoing maintenance, managing the server, the plugins, compared to some of the more, let's say, opinionated or cloud-native options. You get total control, but you also get total responsibility.
Right, okay. So Jenkins is the venerable, super adaptable workhorse, great for complex setups, maybe older systems even.
Could be, yeah.
But what if your team is already living and breathing GitHub? That's where GitHub Actions kind of changes things, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. That's a great way to think about it. If you're already on GitHub for your code.
Which so many teams are.
Right. GitHub Actions offers this really, really seamless experience. Its main thing is these YAML-based workflows.
YAML. So just text files defining the automation.
Yep. Simple, pretty human-readable text files.
No.
Makes setting things up incredibly straightforward. And then there's the marketplace.
The Actions marketplace.
Yeah, it's full of reusable actions, little pre-built automation steps. It's not just convenient, it actually makes sophisticated CI/CD patterns accessible to smaller teams.
Oh, so.
Well, you might not have a dedicated DevOps expert, right? But you can grab these pre-built actions for common tasks, building containers, deploying to the cloud, whatever, and plug them into your workflow. It lowers the barrier significantly, especially for getting efficient microservices development going.
That native GitHub integration plus the marketplace sounds like a huge advantage, quick to get started.
Definitely.
But what if? What if a team isn't only on GitHub? Or maybe they're thinking about moving their code somewhere else. Does that tight integration become like a drawback?
That's a good question. I mean, it is deeply integrated. The workflows themselves are just YAML, so they can talk to external system. You can trigger external builds or deployments,
Okay.
but its real power, its main magic, really shines within that native GitHub ecosystem. If your code isn't in GitHub repos, you'll miss out on a lot of the trigger integrations, the seamless UI stuff. You might end up needing other tools to kind of glue things together.
Things that maybe GitLab CI offers out of the box.
Potentially, yeah. Which brings us nicely to GitLab CI.
Right, GitLab CI. Also integrated, part of the bigger GitLab platform, also around since 2011 or so. GitLab really pushes itself as this all-in-one DevOps platform. How real is that? Is it truly integrated or just, a bunch of tools bundled together? Are there downsides to that unified approach?
Yeah, that's the key question. GitLab CI is a fully integrated system designed from the ground up to work with GitLab repositories. Its strength is genuinely being that all-in-one platform.
So similar to GitHub Actions, it uses YAML for pipelines.
It does, yeah. A GitLab.ci.iml file. Very similar concept. But the real difference is that GitLab bundles built-in DevOps features.
Like what?
Things like issue tracking, code review tools, security scanning, monitoring. It's all designed to work together in one interface.
So it's not just bolting CI/CD onto source control.
No, it's aiming to streamline the whole lifecycle.
Yeah.
From idea to code to test to deploy to monitor, all in GitLab. The trade-off, of course, is you're more tightly barred into the GitLab ecosystem for all that stuff.
Right, you're kind of committing to their way of doing things across the board.
Exactly. Which can be great if it fits your needs, but less flexible if you want to mix and match best-of-breed tools for different parts of the process.
Okay, this is helpful, but before we dig deeper into the why, this Jules thing, our sources mention it. What is that? Is it a real tool?
Right. Jules. Yeah, it's important to clarify this. As far as we can tell, looking across the industry right now, July 2025, there isn't a widely known major CI/CD tool called Jules.
Huh. So maybe a typo.
It seems likely. Or perhaps it's a very niche internal tool at some company, something not really out there in public comparisons. So for this deep dive, we kind of have to set it aside. Hypothetically, if it existed, it would probably offer modern CI/CD features, pipeline automation, stuff like that.
But we don't actually know.
Right. The details are unclear. Its existence is uncertain. So we'll stick with comparing the big three: Jenkins, GitHub Actions, and GitLab CI.
Got it. Makes sense. Okay, so back to why these tools are so crucial. Let's circle back to Jenkins. You said customizable, plugins. What else? What about its community integrating with different tech?
Good points. Beyond just the sheer number of plugins, Jenkins has a really strong active community.
What do you mean?
Just tons of documentation, forums, help available if you get stuck. That's huge. And that pipeline as code thing we mentioned, the Jenkins file, that's massive for consistency, especially in complex setups.
Okay.
Plus, its flexibility means it plays nice with almost anything. On-prem servers, cloud platforms. Doesn't really matter. You can usually make Jenkins talk to it. Java, Node.js, Python, even older, weirder tech stacks. Jenkins can probably handle the build. It's like the universal translator for CI/CD.
The ultimate connector. So if you have a really mixed environment, maybe some legacy stuff, Jenkins gives you that power to tie it all together.
That's a great way to put it.
All right, what about GitHub Actions? Why pick that one specifically? What's the core benefit?
Well, we touched on it, but that native integration with GitHub itself is it's massive.
How does that actually play out?
Workflows can be triggered automatically by stuff happening in your repository. Someone pushes code, opens a pull request, boom, the pipeline runs. It feels like a natural extension of your coding workflow, not a separate thing you have to manage.
Less friction.
Way less friction.
Yeah.
And those YAML files and the marketplace make getting started super fast. Like, you can genuinely have a basic pipeline running in minutes.
Minutes? Really?
Yeah, for simple cases. Plus, it uses cloud-hosted runners that scale up and down automatically.
So you don't have to manage the build servers yourself.
Not unless you want to. They offer self-hosted runners too, if you need more control or specific environments. But the cloud option handles fluctuating workloads really well. And again, that growing marketplace of actions means you're leveraging community knowledge.
Right, democratizing the good practices.
Exactly.
Okay, and GitLab CI, that all-in-one thing, how much does that really help a team day to day? Does it actually reduce headaches?
Oh, it can have a huge impact. By integrating CI/CD tightly with the code repository, issue tracking, monitoring, it cuts down on tool sprawl.
Tool sprawl.
Yeah, having 10 different tools for 10 different parts of the process, all needing separate logins, separate configs, it gets messy.
I can imagine.
GitLab CI aims to give you one unified workflow. The YAML config is straightforward, like GitHub Actions. They also have this feature called Auto DevOps.
Auto DevOps.
Yeah, it provides pre-configured pipeline templates for common project types. It tries to guess good defaults to get you started even faster, reducing setup.
Okay, that's clever.
And crucially important today, it has built-in security features. Vulnerability scanning, license compliance checks, baked right into the pipeline from the start.
So security isn't an afterthought.
Right. It helps make the pipeline more reliable, more secure, without needing extra tools. It means fewer context switches for developers, clearer audit trails, just a smoother flow overall.
This is great context on each tool, but let's tie it back really specifically to microservices. Our sources hammered this point home, how critical CI/CD is for that architecture. Why? What's the fundamental role here beyond just automation?
Well, think about microservices. You've got lots of small independent services. The whole point is agility, right?
Yeah.
Being able to update one service without redeploying everything else.
Okay.
To actually achieve that agility, you need frequent automated deployments for each service. CI/CD tools are what make that possible. They automate the build, test, deploy workflow for each tiny service, ensuring it's fast and reliable. They let microservices actually deliver on that promise of rapid, independent iteration.
Got it. So, okay, let's take Jenkins again. With its flexibility, how does it specifically help manage microservice complexity?
Jenkins pipelines are really good at handling the automation for individual microservices. You can set up complex workflows, maybe ones that even coordinate deployments across multiple services if needed.
Oh, okay.
And that huge plugin ecosystem. It means Jenkins integrates really well with container tools like Docker and Kubernetes.
Which are key for managing microservices, right?
Absolutely. Docker packages them up, Kubernetes orchestrates deploying and scaling them. Jenkins plugs right into that. It can also run builds and tests in parallel, which speeds things up when you have lots of independent services. And its flexibility supports the fact that different microservices might be written in different languages, Java, Node, Python, whatever. Jenkins can handle that mix.
That makes sense. The flexibility matches the diversity often found in microservices. What about GitHub Actions then? How does its native integration shine in a microservices world?
GitHub Actions works beautifully for microservices, mainly because of those event-driven workflows. A code push to just one microservices repository can trigger its specific pipeline.
Ah, very targeted updates.
Exactly. Ideal for frequent independent changes. It also has really strong support for containers. Docker, Kubernetes integrations are readily available, often through marketplace actions.
So building and deploying containerized microservices is easy.
Relatively easy, yeah. The reusable actions simplify common tasks, so you don't have complex pipelines for every single service. And those cloud-hosted runners are great for handling the bursty nature of microservice builds. They scale up when needed without you managing servers.
Okay, nice. And GitLab CI. That all-in-one approach must be pretty compelling when you're juggling dozens or hundreds of little services.
It definitely is. GitLab CI really leans into its end-to-end nature for microservices. That auto DevOps feature we mentioned, it can automatically set up, build, test, deploy pipelines for microservices, often with Kubernetes integration built in.
So it simplifies getting started for each new service.
Exactly. They also have a cool feature called Review Apps.
Review apps.
Yeah, it automatically spins up a temporary live environment for testing the changes in a merge request before you merge it. You get instant feedback on how that microservice change behaves in a deployed state.
Wow, that sounds incredibly useful for catching issues early with distributed systems.
It really is. And again, those built-in security scanning features are a big plus when you have lots of small services, each potentially with its own vulnerabilities or dependencies to manage. Security gets checked earlier and more consistently.
Okay, so we've really covered a lot of ground. We've looked at Jenkins, super customizable, the ultimate adapter, GitHub Actions, seamless GitHub integration, really fast to get going, great marketplace, and GitLab CI, the all-in-one DevOps platform, streamlining the whole lifecycle.
Right. And it's clear these aren't just, simple automation scripts. They are fundamental. They're the backbone for modern agile development, especially with microservices.
They're what enable teams to actually deploy all those small independent services frequently, reliably, keeping things fast, but also stable.
Absolutely. And the right choice.
Mm.
Well, it really does depend, doesn't it? Depends on your team's current tools, your infrastructure, how integrated you want everything to be.
Definitely no single right answer. It's about fit.
Precisely.
So as we wrap up, here's something maybe to think about. We've talked a lot about automating workflows, getting code out faster, making microservices work. But beyond just the mechanics of shipping code, how do these CI/CD tools maybe fundamentally change the culture of a development team? Think about collaboration, feedback loops, even how we define done when software is so distributed. How does the tooling reshape the human element?
That's a fascinating question. How does automating the process change the people and how they interact, especially in this fragmented microservice landscape? Something to definitely chew on.